Empyrion Galactic Survival. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words, the words, the words, the words, the words. Let's read the words of the developer. Let's read. Sorry. Empyrion Galactic Survival is a 3D open world space survival. Sorry. Empyrion Galactic Survival is a 3D open-world space survival adventure in which you can fly across space and land on planets, build, explore, fight and survive in a hostile galaxy full of hidden dangers. Ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Sorry. The bells because it's an early access survival game. It's an early access survival game. It's an early access. It's an early access survival game, by the way, guys. Did I tell you it's an early access survival game? It's an early access survival game. It's an early access survival, guys. It's one of them. It's one of them. It's one of them things that we all are fucking sick of. And the only reason I'm doing this game, the only reason is to stop the never-ending supply of comments saying, Mac, will you do Empyrion Galactic? Mac, will you do emails? Mac, will you do Facebook? Mac, will you do? It's like, yes, I will do it. All right, I've done it. Here it is. It's an early access pre-alpha survival game where you crash land on an alien world in your space shuttle. No, it's not. You crash land on an alien world in your escape pod, which has been ejected out of your capital ship, which also crash landed on the planet somewhere. And you awake next to your escape pod, which is crippled beyond. It's crippled, guys. And you find yourself on an alien world. And you know something, guys? Upon a 360 recce of the situation, yes, it's believable. It's believable. I believed it. I believed it, which triggered off in my brain the immersion chemical release valve. Yes. And we all want that to happen when we play a game, because if that little chemical release valve does not trigger in your brain, you will not like the game. And that's the problem with a lot of games, especially survival games. They fail to trigger the chemical reaction in one's brain that releases the immersion juice. And when the immersion juice flows, it's just awesome because you get immersed in the game as the juices bubble up, and it's just gorgeous. And as I looked around this alien world, I got immersed. I believed it. I thought, yes, shuttle looks fucked. World looks alien. Mac is here. I am here onto alien world. So, what do? Well, you suddenly realise you're running out of oxygen. You suddenly realise you're running out of food. You suddenly realise you're surrounded by the worst animated fucking alien animals you've ever seen in your natch. They need to be redone. Not all of them. The scorpions and the giants is quite nice, but, mate, some of the others are just awful. Anyway, this is what I like about this game. The crafting. The crafting is sublime. The crafting is one of the best craftings I've seen in a game. Because to craft, get this, guys. The escape pod has some containers built into it for survival. For obviously, as you would if you'd made an escape pod, you would have basic survival stuff. You've got some bars of stuff you can create with, and you've got a replicator thing that you can use to craft. And you've got your basic stuff, you've got a few guns, some ammo, a bit of food, survival rations and all that. But the most important thing is the escape pod has this replicator thing where you craft. It's like a crafting thing, yeah. And you have to put fuel in the fuel tank of the ship, jump in the cockpit, power it up to give power to the replicator, and then you start crafting shit. And the first thing you need to craft is a base. And you do all that. I'm not going to go into the depths of it, but essentially the crafting works like this. You might need, the end result could be, say, that you're going to craft a large construction machine. Now to make that might require a couple of computers, a lot of cabling, a lot of wiring, and shitloads of other stuff. But to make, say, the computers that you need for that, they might require cabling, wiring, and all kinds of stuff. So it's like very tiered, the crafting. So to build one thing, it actually feels like you're building it because there's a lot of work goes into it. And that's what I like about it. It's deep. It's got a very deep, believable crafting system. You know, you're not like getting 3 mushrooms in a plant fibre and then making a fucking gun out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you are putting believable stuff together, which is made out of believable stuff. You see, it triggers the immersion. It triggers the bubble juice. It does suffer. It does suffer, guys. It suffers the same old fucking brokenness of pretty much every other survival game that I've reviewed. And you know what that is, guys? It's this lock system that you get into where you spend all your time crafting to survive. I know it's a survival game, but you gotta balance it a lot better than this, because what you kind of do is you have to watch your oxygen, because that goes down so fucking fast. You wouldn't think these cunts could build any kind of tech when they can't even build a fucking oxygen tank that lasts more than 5 fucking minutes. It's bullshit. It's like your oxygen tank should last fucking hours, not minutes. It's bull. You can't even run. You can't even run 1,000 meters away without having to worry about heading back. 1,000 fucking meters. Honestly, I mean, Neil Armstrong, when he went on the moon, he had better fucking oxygen tanks than these cunts. He did. He did. Did he actually go on the moon though, Mac? Was that not just a Hollywood set? Hey? Oh no, you've started it off now. The comments section are going to pick up on them. Why did you? I'll cut that out. And to replenish your oxygen, you have to make an oxygen tank generator, which you throw into water, and that, once fueled, will make loads of oxygen tanks, which you then have to take to your ship, put into the oxygen replenishing unit, stand next to it, power up the ship, and it will refill your oxygen. It's great that you have to do that, but not every 5 fucking minutes. Oh, do you know what? I've played it for 7 hours, this game. There's a couple of us played it co-op for about 4 hours. And in all of that time, we never once were able to relax and just think, hey, look, let's explore the planet. Because it's kind of like, me, rigid, go over there, mine some of that cobalt, mine some mine while you're there. I'm going this way to mine some magnesium because we're running out of bullets, and we need magnesium to make bullets, because if we run out of bullets, we don't get food because we haven't got the farm up and running yet. So we have to use the bullets to shoot the animals. Fucking hell, my oxygen's down. I've got to turn around. I haven't got any meat. Have you got meat? No, I haven't got no meat. Fucking hell, you run out of oxygen. Oh my goodness. Everybody head back to base. Fill up the oxygen. Right, let's go back out. There's an animal. Bang, 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 you little twat. Right, food. Let's make it. Oh shit, we haven't made a replicator. That means we'll get poisoned. Right, go get some more iron. I'll get some cobalt. We need some sulfur. Shit, there's a drone. Run. No, fight it. We've got to fight it because it's guarding the sulfur. Right, bam, 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 bam. Killed it. Sulfur. Mine. We've got the sulfur, get it back, build the food processor. Right, we've got the food processor up and throw the meat in. Right, fucking hell, I nearly died there. Right, we've got to do the whole fucking thing again because I'm also running out of food again. Oxygen, let's run out and do the all again. It's just, that's pretty much this game. And that is a big problem because it needs balancing. It's like all of these type of survival games where you can't run, you know, more than 600 yards and then you're starving again. You have to eat 50 chickens a day to survive. This has that. This has the same problem with your food and oxygen rather than food and water. You don't need water apparently. Your oxygen's going down all the time. Your food's going down all the time. Resources are scarce. You have to set up farming. You have to do a lot of things, and it all starts to get very, very tedious and feeling like work and not play, which is a problem. And if it doesn't get fixed, and I've already looked at the forums and there's a lot of people mentioning this, it is a problem, and it's already put me off playing any further into the game until this is addressed. Because you see what they've done here, they've made a game where you can build ground vehicles, you can build spaceships, you can actually fly off your planet and fly to another planet and do the whole thing again on another planet. You know, it's a massive game that they've made here. But they've messed it up by having this system that is so ridiculous and unbelievable, because you know fine well that if this was real, your oxygen would last a hell of a lot longer than this. Your food would last a hell of a lot longer than this. You wouldn't start dying as soon as you run out of food. You can last 3 fucking days without food. It's a killer. it's a killer for me. And I know it's in very early access, and I do know that they are trying to balance it all out now, but I have to mention that. So as I said, anyway, this is multiplayer through direct IP at the minute, but I'm assuming it'll come in through Steam, and there's going to be dedicated servers and all the rest of it. But it is fun in co-op. It's pretty easy to connect to your friends, just a little bit of port forwarding on your router, and then away you go. Once there's two of you in, you stand a much higher chance of surviving, because you've got 4 pairs of hands, and you can do a lot more with 2 people than you can with 1. And what you have to do is, once you've built a base, get yourself a land vehicle built and some better weapons. You can build turrets and all this kind of stuff. Very clunky, very buggy at the minute, but you can still build them, and it's all there, and it looks all really nice. You can build a capital ship, you can fly off the planet, you can go into space, have fighting in space, see other planets, land on them, colonize them if you like, and do the whole thing again, as I mentioned earlier on. So there's plenty to do. The control system is a bit clunky. In first person it's fine, absolutely no problem whatsoever, but driving the vehicles I found a bit shit. It just didn't feel right. It needs a bit of work. The turning was just pretty naff, but it works. It works. I mean, you can get by with it, but as I say, this is pre-alpha. It's getting a lot of work done to it. It's $13.59, guys. You see, what he's done is he's priced it too high. He's priced this around about the same price as Subnautica. Now, if you look at Subnautica, it's light years ahead of this as far as graphics, animations, and just the whole polish of the game, you know. And that's the problem with it in my book. And it's a shame, because I really want to thumb this up, because I have huge expectations of this game. It could be one of the top survival games ever made, simply because it immerses you in your character. It's believable, and it's done so well. I can't give you a thumb up at this moment in time, because I think you've overpriced your product a bit, but it... Guys, I'd finish this video and give it a thumb down, and I've just had to jump back in the game now to get some more footage for it, and I've decided that I'm actually going to give it a thumb up. I got back into the game, jumped in my land speeder, was flying around the planet, had a few battles, investigated the crashed ship, my mothership, had a few fights, found a bit of ore, did a bit of more mining, and I came to the conclusion that it's a fucking great game. It's heading in all the right directions. I'd be a fool and I'd regret thumbing this down. So I'm thumbing it up. Yes, I think it's a bit overpriced, but I mean, I'm on 8 hours played, and I'm probably gonna do another 10 hours on it before I get bored with the content that you've got. That's about 18 hours. I mean, I've got a lot more that I want to do co-op as well. So I'm thumbing it up, because the guy seems to have really ploughed a lot of effort into what he's done so far, and if he keeps putting this amount of effort as he expands the planets and takes away the invisible barriers and lets you explore everywhere and makes the universe bigger, makes the monsters better, makes the fighting better. So now I'm U-turning. This is the first U-turn I've ever done on a game. I literally nearly made this live today, the thumbs down version, but I've U-turned it to thumb up. It deserves it. It just deserves it for the amount of effort that's been put into it and the direction that it's going. So there you go. It is now worth a buy.